The air in Gotham City was thick with an ominous tension, as if the very walls of Arkham Asylum were holding their breath in anticipation. Within the confines of this notorious institution, a young female psychiatrist, Dr. Evelyn Sinclair, found herself drawn into a twisted game of cat and mouse with the city's most infamous resident, the Joker. Evelyn and Harley Quinn had been the best of friends since their days in medical school. The two young women had graduated at the top of their class, their dreams of making a difference in the world of psychiatry burning brightly. With a shared passion for helping the troubled minds of Gotham City, they had secured positions at the notorious Arkham Asylum, determined to make their mark. However, as Evelyn watched Harley's slow descent into madness, she couldn't help but feel a growing sense of unease. Harley, once the picture of poise and professionalism, had become hopelessly enamored with the Joker, Arkham's most infamous patient. Evelyn had witnessed the transformation firsthand, her heart sinking as she saw her dear friend fall deeper and deeper under the Joker's spell. The Joker himself was a force to be reckoned with, his charismatic charm and unsettling intelligence worming their way under Evelyn's skin. Try as she might, she found herself both repulsed and intrigued by the man behind the painted facade. His piercing gaze, his twisted grin, and his razor-sharp wit all combined to create a presence that was both captivating and deeply unsettling. Evelyn couldn't help but wonder what it was about the Joker that had ensnared Harley so completely. Was it his charisma, his intelligence, or something even darker that had drawn her friend into his web? As she watched the Joker manipulate and toy with Harley's emotions, Evelyn felt a growing sense of dread, knowing that the path her friend had chosen could only lead to ruin. Evelyn's heels clicked against the cold, sterile floor of Arkham Asylum as she approached the Joker's cell. The notorious criminal sat restrained, his piercing green eyes locked onto her every move. That twisted, unsettling grin spread across his painted face, sending a shiver down Evelyn's spine. Well, well, if it isn't my favorite doctor, the Joker purred, his voice dripping with sarcasm. To what do I owe the pleasure of your company? Evelyn steeled her resolve, refusing to be cowed by the Joker's taunting. I'm here to talk about Harley, she said, her tone firm. I want you to leave her alone. The Joker let out a manic laugh, the sound grating against Evelyn's nerves. Leave Harley alone, he echoed, his eyes gleaming with amusement. My dear doctor, Harley and I are kindred spirits. We're two peas in a pod, destined to be together. Evelyn felt her stomach twist with a mixture of disgust and unease. She's not a toy for you to play with, Joker. Harley deserves better than this twisted obsession you have with her. The Joker leaned forward, his restraint straining against his movements. But you see, my dear, that's where you're wrong. Harley and I, we're two sides of the same coin. We're meant to be together, to wreak havoc on this city side by side. Evelyn's eyes narrowed as she studied the Joker's expression, searching for any hint of sincerity. And what about you, Joker? What do you really want? The Joker's grin widened, a gleam of mischief in his eyes. Why, my dear doctor, I want the same thing I've always wanted: chaos, mayhem, and a good laugh. And who better to share that with than my dear Harley? Evelyn felt her resolve wavering, the Joker's words worming their way into her mind. She found herself drawn to the intensity of his gaze, the sharp wit that danced behind his eyes. Against her better judgment, she found herself engaging in a battle of wits with the Joker, trading barbs and quips. You know, Joker, Evelyn said, her eyes narrowing as she studied his reaction. I've always wondered, what's the difference between you and a rabid dog? The Joker's eyes gleamed with amusement, and to Evelyn's surprise, he let out a genuine, unguarded laugh. My dear doctor, he exclaimed, his laughter echoing through the confines of the cell. The difference is that I have a much better sense of humor. Evelyn couldn't help but feel a strange sense of triumph as the Joker's laughter filled the air. It was a sound so genuine, so unguarded, that it caught her off guard. She found herself captivated by the way his face lit up, the tension in the room seeming to dissipate, if only for a moment. In that brief exchange, Evelyn felt a connection to the Joker that she couldn't quite explain. His sharp wit and quick-witted responses had a way of worming under her skin, chipping away at the carefully constructed walls she had built around herself. The more she engaged with him, the more she found herself drawn into his twisted web of manipulation. But just as Evelyn began to lose herself in the Joker's alluring charm, a chilling realization dawned on her. It wasn't the Joker himself that she truly feared, but rather the wrath of her best friend, Harley Quinn. Evelyn's mind raced with memories of Harley's descent into madness, her once vibrant friend becoming consumed by an all-consuming obsession with the Joker. She had witnessed Harley's transformation firsthand, watching in horror as the woman she once knew became a twisted reflection of the Joker's own deranged psyche. The thought of Harley discovering Evelyn's growing feelings for the Joker sent a shiver of dread down her spine. She remembered the time Harley had brutally attacked a fellow Arkham staff member, simply for suggesting that the Joker was a bad influence. The poor man had been left hospitalized for weeks, his injuries a testament to Harley's unhinged rage. And then there was the incident with the Joker's former henchman, who had dared to flirt with Harley in the Joker's presence. Evelyn had heard the chilling details, the man's broken bones, the permanent scars that marred his face, all inflicted by Harley's own hands as the Joker watched on with a twisted grin. Evelyn knew that if Harley were to discover the truth about her own feelings for the Joker, she would become the next victim of her best friend's obsession. Harley's jealousy and possessiveness knew no bounds, and Evelyn feared that she would not survive the wrath of the woman she once called her closest confidant. With a heavy heart, Evelyn realized that she would have to tread carefully, lest she become entangled in the web of madness that had consumed Harley Quinn. The Joker's allure was undeniable, but the price of succumbing to it could very well be her own life. As the Joker was once again secured in his cell, Evelyn found herself standing before a crossroads. The weight of her profession and her own moral compass pulled her in one direction, while a growing fascination with the Joker tugged her in another. In the end, Evelyn made a decision that would forever haunt her. Casting a furtive glance around the asylum, Evelyn noticed that the lock to the Joker's cell had been mysteriously left open. Without a moment's hesitation, she turned a blind eye, allowing the Joker to slip free from his confines. In that instant, Evelyn knew she had crossed a line, betraying everything she had sworn to uphold as a psychiatrist. As the Joker slipped free from his cell, his piercing gaze fixed directly onto the security camera. A twisted grin spread across his painted face, his lips curling into a mocking smile. "Well, well, what do we have here?" the Joker mused, his voice dripping with amusement. "Looks like someone's been a naughty little helper, haven't they?" He let out a soft chuckle, the sound echoing through the empty halls of Arkham. Leaning in closer to the camera, the Joker's eyes gleamed with a dangerous intensity. "Ah, but don't worry, my dear," he purred. "Your little secret is safe with me. After all, what's the fun in spoiling the surprise?" The Joker's laughter rang out, a haunting melody that seemed to taunt Evelyn's every step. He knew, somehow, that she had played a part in his escape, and he relished in the power he now held over her. Evelyn's heart raced as she watched the Joker's message, her mind reeling with the implications of his words. She knew that the Joker now held a dangerous leverage over her, and that their twisted game had only just begun. The Joker's gaze seemed to bore into her very soul, even through the security camera's lens. "Until next time, my dear," he chuckled, his voice dripping with a sinister undertone. "I do hope you'll keep that little secret of ours. Well, a secret." With a final wink, the Joker disappeared from view, leaving Evelyn to grapple with the weight of her actions and the uncertainty of what the future held. As Gotham City fell into disarray once more, Evelyn was caught between her growing attraction to the Joker and the danger posed by Harley Quinn, her best friend, and the Joker's infatuated lover. Aware that Harley's discovery of her feelings could be lethal, Evelyn was haunted by the Joker's manipulative games and his mocking laughter within Arkham's walls. Struggling with her own desires and Harley's potential fury, Evelyn's moral clarity waned, leaving her questioning her beliefs and identity. Each day was fraught with the risk of falling into darkness, as the Joker's influence insidiously reminded her of her precarious position in his cruel game.